Welcome back. In this video I will focus on Meineke's incompetence when performing basic repairs. During the service and repair of the rack and pinion, the tire and wheel assembly would have to be removed to break loose the outer tie rods from the steering knuckles to transfer to the inner tie rods. Now, how did Meineke miss the exposed belts on the left front inner tire? How did Meineke miss the cross-threaded lug nut instead on the same left front tire? Also, there was no alignment done to adjust for toe to prevent premature tire wear. According to the Missouri Motor Vehicle Inspection Regulations, it states under tires to reject the vehicle if there is a localized worn spot that exposes the cord, and under wheels it states to reject the vehicle if there are loose, missing, or damaged wheel studs, bolts, nuts, or lugs. As stated in previous videos, Meineke failed to notice the original spark plugs, failed to replace the engine oil and filter, notice the Jiffy Lube oil sticker, failed to replace the oil pressure sending unit, of which Meineke states the mechanic verifies that it was replaced, failed to install the correct power steering front belt, etc., etc., etc. On Meineke's response concerning the second invoice dated June 26, 2010, they state, "At this time we diagnosed leaking power steering lines / hoses and recommended belts which have been compromised by being fluid soaked." On Meineke's first invoice, dated June 5, 2010, they replaced the power steering pump, which would require the removal and installation of all power steering hoses. They replaced the thermostat and seal, which requires the removal of the lower radiator pipe bolt and the thermostat housing. Now, being under the lower radiator pipe and the thermostat housing, the cooling fan belt and the power steering pump belt would become fluid soaked because there was no need to remove the belts according to procedure. Meineke's mechanic failed to drain the coolant through the drain plug. Instead, he allowed the coolant to gush out of the thermostat housing, soaking the belts. Now, this 2001 vehicle came in with 138,640 miles, as stated on the first invoice, and it had no concerns with the belts or hoses. But yet, on the second invoice, at 3 weeks and maybe 700 miles later, it was allegedly diagnosed with fluid-soaked belts and leaking power steering lines / hoses. Meineke's mechanic failed to properly tighten the power steering hose clamps and fittings. When I replaced the rack and pinion, I used Teflon tape on the fittings and tightened all clamps to stop all the power steering leaks. Now, after the alleged repairs, Meineke's mechanic failed to properly adjust the alternator / cooling fan belt, failed to install the bottom plastic retainers on the fan shroud, and failed to install the correct power steering pump belt. On Meineke's second invoice, they say that they performed a courtesy inspection. Firestone's courtesy check consists of checking the tire pressure and tread depth. Meineke has a 7-point, a 15-point, and a 23-point courtesy check, but failed to provide the results along with the paperwork. Meineke did offer to make repairs under warranty, but the facts are that this vehicle has been back to Meineke twice at a cost of over $3,260 and continues to leak even more each time returned. I had absolutely no confidence that Meineke's mechanic could perform repairs a third time. Stay tuned for more videos in this series. Thank you.